Hello everyone, Seraphin here. I know you're confused seeing more Metroid after we finished it last time. However, there was a couple of things I wanted to touch on, maybe a couple more things I wanted to talk about. If you don't want to watch this, I'm not going to make you, certainly. It's not any more of the gameplay. It's a couple of little neat things that I found out. Having played this game for such a long time, there's even some things that I didn't know, and I decided to spend some time learning what those things were. The most notable thing is here, you'll see I'm back on the save file select screen, and you'll see the file that I just finished on the bottom there, the one with 3 hours, 54 minutes, and off to the side you will see a little Metroid, and that means that the game has been finished on that file. You'll notice that the top one here does not, because I've not finished it yet. This one, wow, geez, this one I finished a lot quicker, didn't I? That being said, what this Metroid symbol means is that it indicates that you've finished the game, and if you pick that particular file and start it again, you have the option to either continue, meaning fight the SAX and the final boss over again, or you can start over. And what starting over on an already finished file will do, this is kind of interesting actually. I'm actually just going to skip the... Oh, can I not skip the story stuff? Are you kidding me? Wow. Okay, I can't skip the story stuff. You would think that it would let you skip it if you've already done it once. I guess I'll just talk over it. At any rate, so what I learned is I was correct in the last assumption where there are 5 different ending graphics. Specifically, those are finishing the game in over 4 hours, whether you got 100% or not. So actually, no, that's not true. If you get 100%, it doesn't matter how long you took. You get the particular graphic that I got. If you do 100% in under 2 hours, you get a different one. And it actually isn't all that different. I actually spoilered myself and looked at the picture. It's really not all that different. It's still Samus in that same blue outfit you saw earlier. It's just like a zoomed out full body picture of her, I guess. Who knows? At any rate, so those are the 2 hardest difficulties to get, is just beating 100%. Whether you take a long time to do it, whether you take under 2 hours, those are the 2 most far progressed ones at any rate. The other ones are simply beating the game in under 2 hours, which I still have not done, by the way. Even if I were to, I've never tried to speed run this game or anything. I imagine I probably could do it. I'd probably need to get a little bit better at the game, to be honest with you, because having the ability to go through 100% and have all those missiles and all that health, I can just kind of brute force a lot of the bosses, and you saw that most specifically with Ridley. Rather, X-infested Ridley, or whatever the heck you want to call him. But having not properly done that fight before, without having all those missiles and having all that health, I imagine it'd be a lot more difficult. And I've never experienced that because I'm a scrub. One of these games, I might just have to go through and try to do a speed run and see if I can't take down the game in under 2 hours without having to grab all the stuff. Probably save my sanity a little bit, not having to go back and make sure I got every last little thing in every sector. That would make grabbing the stuff that I can get on the way of paramount importance, because I probably would only have access to like half, maybe like a third of the tanks, just through normal story progression. Who knows? That being said, I do know there are some people on the internet, some very will-powerful individuals that have finished this game minimalist. There are actually only, I think, 2 tanks through the entirety of the game that you are required to get. And that leaves you with, at the end boss, by the way, that leaves you with 1 energy tank in reserve and 20 missiles. And I think 10 power bombs. Like, I can't even imagine trying to beat the game like that. You do still get, obviously you get all the beam upgrades, you get all the suit upgrades, you have to get those. So you'll have to have access to powerful charge beams, and I imagine that's how you have to go through the game, is just charging everything up. That's how you defeat a lot of the bosses that require missiles normally. If you run out of missiles, you can just charge beam them, but charging your beam takes time, and you have to be able to avoid attacks as they're coming at you so you can charge the thing and not get killed. Especially because one good swipe from Ridley will kill you, will take a whole energy tank off of you. One good stab from the SAX will take a whole tank off of you. The Omega Metroid, I'm pretty sure, takes at least 1 whole tank off of you when he hits you. So you got to be really good at not getting hit, and sadly that is not me. I am not that talented. I would love to tell you that from playing this game for nigh on 15 years now has made me awesome at it. Sadly, it is not. it has made me passable at this game. That's about as far as I'm willing to go. So that being said, I'm not going to try to attempt a speed run probably on this channel at all. If I were to try to do something like that, I would probably just do it in my own time. So I apologize if that's what you wanted to see. I am not a speedrunner. I'm not good at speedrunning things. I am very meticulous. I am a completionist. And I like to just do things at my own pace and take my time. I'm very deliberate like that. So speed runs, timed runs are not things that I'm a fan of. So I apologize if that's what you're looking for. Regrettably, you'll have to go somewhere else to find something like that. But I'm hoping that you're tuning in here because you enjoy what I'm doing. I really hope that's the case at any rate. Otherwise, why the heck would you be watching? But that being said, I just wanted to share that information that I learned about there being 5 distinct ending sequences at the end of the game, depending on how well you progressed. This is also something else that's new. So if you go through and do restart over on an already completed file, you'll notice I have the whole map revealed already. It does not reveal, however, I think, actually, you know what, it might have been revealed this much already to begin with. It does not reveal the green areas, the secret areas of the map. So, excuse me, that's just wrong what I said a second ago. I do not have the whole map revealed. That being said, there is something different, and I will show you that as soon as we get out of this stupid little exposition and cutscene nonsense. So here we go, I'm back at the beginning of the game, level 1 Samus, basically, quote-unquote. If I go into the start menu now, though, you'll see here, there are counters now. And you'll see on the very top left of the screen, there is a counter for tracking your item collection progress. So if for some reason you went through this game the first time, and you didn't get everything, and you go through and play it again after you've beaten it, now it will tell you if you've got everything. So you'll see there, I have 0 of 20 energy tanks, I have 0 of 48 missile tanks, and I have 0 of 32 power bomb tanks. So if you're trying to do a 100% run and you don't have easy access to, or you're not quite sure what your progress is, and you don't want to keep looking at a guide every 2 seconds, playing through it again in an already completed file will give you that information. It will tell you just how well you're doing. That being said, it will not tell you where everything is. Like I said, it's not going to show you all the green parts of the map, the hidden areas of the map that aren't shown. It's not going to hold your hand and tell you where everything is. You need to figure that out still, but it will tell you how you're doing. And also, unlike the original run, you'll see on the bottom left there is a clock. And time, thankfully, is paused when you're in the start menu. And I also believe it is paused when you're doing exposition scenes, talking to your computer, that kind of thing. But that is your overall total game time played. So this will help you keep on track if you're trying to do a speed run in under 2 hours to get the best cutscene. That will let you keep track of how you're doing. If you think you're spending too much time in one area, it'll let you kind of reload your save and try it again and do it faster. If you're into that kind of thing. Personally, I am not, as I've said, but this is a neat little tool that you only get access to if you've beaten the game already once and reload the same save file. Something I don't believe I touched on all that much the first time. This was here the first time the whole time, by the way. If I hit R on the pause menu, the map screen, it will bring up this. And this actually outlines all the different upgrades you have. And you'll see I don't have anything right now. I just have a basic beam and the basic suit. But if you have every upgrade in the game, it'll tell you all the upgrades you have in here. There's 5 different beam upgrades, I think. There is the charge beam, the wide beam, the plasma beam, the wave beam, and then finally the ice beam at the very end, when you get from the SAX at the very last minute. Again, for story reasons, I don't understand how it makes any sense that you were able to reacquire the ice beam. But because they even told you in the opening part, like, you can't have ice beam because you're part Metroid now, and that doesn't work. So, again, not sure how you get that back, but whatever, you need it. So, the speculation, too, as to why the SX came in and saved me, it wasn't to protect me, necessarily. It was because the X and Metroids are mortal enemies. The Metroids are the natural predators of X, so it was probably trying to take advantage of its newfound power to attack its otherwise predator. However, as you saw, it was not quite strong enough to do so, and it got insta-pwned. So that allowed me to absorb it and use it against the Metroid to kill it. So if you're wondering about that particular story tidbit, that's what I know about it. As for suit upgrades, there's only 2. There's our basic suit, and then, well, there's technically 3, I guess. But the one where we turn orange does not have a name. It doesn't show up in here. At least I don't believe it does. But we've got the Varia suit for temperature protection, and then we've got the gravity suit to allow us to move freely through water and lava. The top part up there that's not labeled is like a generic enhancement. So, for example, that would be the speed booster. You know what? That's actually wrong. I believe that goes on the bottom part. The the top part is your bomb upgrades. So you have regular bombs that you get very early, and then you have power bombs. That's it. And then the bottom part there is for all your generic upgrades, like your just overall power increases. So the speed booster, the space jump, the screw attack. I believe there's at least one more that I'm forgetting, but I can't think of it right now. And then over on the bottom left is your missile upgrades. So the basic missiles, the upgraded power missiles, the ice missiles, and the diffusion ice missiles finally. So as soon as you acquire those upgrades, you can come in here and check and see which ones you have. To kind of, I don't know why you need to be reminded of that, but just in case you want to know what you have and what you're missing, because when you have everything, this stream will be full. It'll take up all the space on both sides of Samus there in the middle, so you will know if you're missing anything. And as I said, there's only one optional upgrade, and that's the diffusion missiles. So if you were playing through this the first time and you suspected you're missing something, that's how you'd find out. It's coming here to do that. And then finally, there is a sleep mode. I'm going to be totally honest with you, I don't know what the heck this is for. Basically what it does is, if you were activating this on the Game Boy Advance itself, you put it to sleep mode, and it would basically just make the screen go blank. The game would still be on, like you'd be exactly where you were when you came out of sleep mode, and you'd be back at the pause screen here, but it wouldn't turn the game off. And I suspect this is like... Now that I'm thinking about it, this is probably like a precursor to what you can do now with like the 3DS. For example, if you're in the middle of a game and you just shut your 3DS, it'll kind of take a nap. It'll turn the screens off. It'll suspend your current game status. It won't turn it off. It'll just suspend it in memory or whatnot. And you'll notice that the light on the front, the power light, will start flashing slowly, like slowly blinking, fading in and out, like kind of like it's snoring. So I guess that was like an early version of that, where if you were somewhere and you couldn't save and you just had to put the game down for a minute, you could go into the sleep mode and you could avoid having to lose your progress from not getting to a save room and just put it to sleep. And then once you can come back to it, you can just pick it up and start right back where you were. I guess that's one use for that. I guess it's the only practical use that I can think of at any rate. Or maybe I would say maybe if your battery was dying and you needed to preserve your battery power, but that wouldn't make sense because maybe on the Game Boy Advance SP, because that had a rechargeable battery. But the original Game Boy Advance, you had to put batteries in it. So, and if you take the batteries out, the thing's going to shut off. So that wouldn't make any sense. But maybe if your battery was running low and you needed to preserve as much as you could before you could get somewhere to charge it, you could put this game to sleep, close the lid, turn the light off, and get to a charger as quick as you could and save your progress and prevent your progress from being lost. I guess that's another way you could go about making use of it. But that's what it's here for. I guess it's there to use if you want to. I never have personally. I don't see the point. But that was what I wanted to show you. Just a couple little tidbits like that. Just that it shows you your progress now when you play through it again. That really was it, honestly. I'm sorry if this took 15 minutes to explain, but I figured I'd share that with all of you guys in case you were curious. Like I said, if this bored you, I'm sorry. If you thought this was totally unnecessary, you feel free to downvote. I understand completely, but hopefully if you thought this was informative, go ahead and feel free to leave a like, please. That would make me feel better, but don't feel obligated to. I understand. So I'm a bit of a strange person like that. So I might do some more explanation kind of stuff like that with some other games that I play, because a lot of the time I don't have the time during the course of normal gameplay to just sit and explain everything. It's kind of hard to remember what I'm supposed to be focusing on and talking to you about when I'm trying to play through the game at the same time. I'm kind of good at multitasking, but not that good, so from time to time I might take the time to kind of explain game mechanics to you, maybe explain some stuff that you didn't know if you were curious, and hopefully you found it informational, or informative, rather, and maybe you enjoyed it, who knows. But I'll keep doing it, unless you guys don't want me to, then I just won't. So anyway, thank you all for sticking around for this. If you did the whole time, I appreciate it. Hopefully you learned something useful. This is the last Metroid episode. We're done for now, so I know this is going to be coming out on a Wednesday, so I'm sorry there will not be another new series starting on Friday. I'm going to take the weekend to figure out what I'm going to play next. I have not quite gotten to that point. I'm leaning towards something Castlevania themed. So that's your treat for watching through the end of this video, is now you get to have kind of understand what might be coming up next. So yeah, I think it'll be that. That's what I know it's in the same vein as Metroid because the whole Metroidvania thing, but I like Castlevania a lot. And actually, I'm really excited because season 2 of the anime is coming out. In fact, by the time you're watching this, it might already be out. So if you have a Netflix account and you have not watched that Castlevania anime, go do that. It's amazing. I love it to death. I've rewatched it a billion times, and I'm gonna watch season 2 as soon as it's live. So, at any rate, thank you all very much for sticking with me. Hopefully you learned something, and if not, that's okay too. So I will see you, as they said last time, in the next mission. Until that time, this has been Seraphin. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Stay classy, internets.